Sega, you know you're in good hands when you see that name. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, you're in good hands. And especially when it's this game. So, welcome to another edition of GWC Plays. We're going back, far back. This is a cherished game from my childhood. I played this game countless times. More than I can even really recall myself. This is a great game. World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. This is just an overall really fun game. I love the music. I love the look of it. And this is probably up there as one of my personal favorite Genesis games. It's just a really good game. But we will get into that right now. One night, Mickey and Donald were practicing for their big magic act. Well, I won't read it for. Well, maybe I should. I already started, so I guess. Let's see what's going now. Mysterious magical box with a drawn curtain. Oh boy! If it works, we can use this in our magical act. Oh, yeah, I'm not reading these. I already screwed up. Oh, I don't know if that's. I'm not doing any voices. Nah, we're just gonna get into this just straight. Like I said, you put in your own Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck voice, because I'm sure you have a better one. My Donald Duck sounds bad. My Mickey Mouse is decent, but that's it. Decent. So, I'm not gonna do any of that. Yeah, we get our little basic paw of the way. They step into the magic box, and then you gotta get out. But yeah, getting back to what I said, this was a game I did play a whole bunch back in the day when me and my sister first got our Genesis. This was one of the games. It was this, the original Sonic, the 6-pack game, which included columns and a bunch of other games. And this was always the game that I always went to. It was just my go-to. So, yeah, let's start the game. We're just gonna be doing, of course, just one player. I don't have 2 players here. But this game does support 2 players. One player's Mickey Mouse, a second player's Donald Duck. You know, already looking back now, just like the little caterpillar in the foreground right here, like just like the animation on it, looks so good. I was always impressed with the Genesis. Like, there's a lot of games that looked really good on it. I kind of feel, in some way, that the Sega systems were super underrated. Like, the Super Nintendo was a huge system. Like, I love the Super Nintendo. And the Genesis is a great system too, but I feel like everybody goes more towards like Nintendo stuff rather than Sega, even though there's some really good Sega stuff. Like, Sega Genesis has some really good games. Like, I should at some point start playing some more Genesis stuff, because there's definitely some games there I think more people should know about. But this is one of them. This is one of the ones where it's like, this is the go-to easily. And I believe this game was ported to some other systems, but I'm actually not too sure on it, to be honest. But this is the one I played, and it stuck with me for a while. I remember for years, mostly, I'd say a big part of it was the music. The music always stuck with me, where I was always like, years after playing it, I would think of that music and be like, oh man, I really should play that game one of these days again. And I cannot recall, like, I know a lot of times I say, like, I can't recall the last time I've played this game, but it truly has been a long time. Like, I don't think, and I'm saying this in truth, I don't think I played this game throughout the entirety of like 2010 to now, which is absolutely nuts. And it's more because my Genesis is kind of out for the count, so I don't really have much I can do because I have a physical card of this, and I think it also just came down to I don't know, I never got back to playing it on a ROM, which I feel kind of bad about. Like, I really don't like, this is a game I really like. I really don't like just not playing it for years. Like, I try at least every few years or so. This is a game I really love to just play and get on. Like, Link to the Past is, of course, I play that game almost every year. And, like, Metal Gear 3 is another one of those, and there's a bunch of other games, but this is one I feel bad I didn't play for a while, because it's a really fun game. Oh, I dig it. But you know, but I'm not gonna soak on that now. I'm gonna say, you know, I'm playing it now, so I'm pretty content in that. So I got to play it at least once in the 2010s. So I can at least leave with that thought. And also the thought that hopefully this leads to you or someone out there playing this game, because it is a very fun game. It's actually pretty fun co-op. I played this game a bunch with my sister, and we would always do a co-op. And for a co-op, it's pretty good. It's quite good. And I know there's also Castle of Illusion, which I believe is the first game in the series. And that one actually got that one actually got like a remaster and like a remake. It was on PS3 and it got delisted, but I actually think it recently came back, which I should actually give a try. I've only played this. I've never played Castle of Illusion. God, this theme. Like I said, the soundtrack is super good. Got it. Dun, 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 dun. And this is my thing right here. Like when you beat the levels in this play, this was always like my favorite. Alakazam. Hold down, jump, fly up. Alright. That doesn't sound too bad. Genesis had pretty good, Genesis had a pretty good sound chip. Oh boy. This isn't going good. I should, for safety. Hold on. Okay, I had to make quick safety. I don't know what's going on. Like I forgot. Okay, now I'm doing it. I don't know what I was doing before. See, I thought it was you hold it down, you had to tap it. This is when you know I haven't played in a long time. I'm like messing this up. I set up my controls pretty bad too, which I have no one to blame but myself on this one. Getting back to that, I talk about like Genesis versus Nintendo. I wouldn't even say versus, but it really was kind of like that during the that era in time with like Nintendo and Sega Genesis like kind of batting each other out for like console dominance back then. Of Nintendo and those ads. And then Sega with their ads, like Sega does what Nintendo don't. Now, like in retrospect, it's pretty interesting now. In my household, it was mostly Super Nintendo based. Like we got a Genesis, but it was way after we had a Super Nintendo. Like I was pretty much when I was born, we had a Super Nintendo. Like we got the Genesis. Oh, God, when was it? Dang, it might have been like 1998 or 99. I can't recall. It was a long time ago. But I do remember that we got the Genesis pretty late into it. Oh, dang it. Actually, no, wait. It couldn't be, See, now I'm like, now I gotta think about it, the timeline of it all, because I got my N64. I got my N64 in like 98, 99. And I remember being pretty young when I was playing this. It could have been 1997, 98. It could have been the same year, because I feel like this is more my sister's than mine. It was shared, but... So, to really think on that, how to think really far back on this. Well, other few games, because there were a lot of Genesis games, we didn't get, like, we didn't have a really big Genesis collection. It was more Super Nintendo, and especially once I got the N64, which that was technically my first console that I owned. Because the NES was more my sister's, and the Super Nintendo was hers as well. So, N64 was more my first, like, system I actually could say I owned. But even then, I played a lot of the Genesis when we did have it. Kind of kind of a shame when you end up happened to Sega with them as like a console maker with like Dreamcast. Like it sucks Dreamcast was it. Like Dreamcast actually has some pretty good games, but it came out at a pretty bad time. So they were kind of screwed from that get-go. Which sucks because like Genesis has like Shenmue, and you have the Sonic Adventure series, and you have like Soul Calibur. You have like a lot of stuff on there, and just I'm doing kind of bad at this game. I was expecting maybe I'll beat this on this one, maybe not. We will see. This is what happens when you don't play a game for more than like 10 years and come back to it. You're terrible. Like I remember back then, I played this game so much I could like get through it pretty consistently. Like beat it by myself, like not too many issues. It's that kind of old thing which I've seen happen before, where like there are games as a kid, where as a kid I beat it, and as an adult I'm like, wait, how did I beat this? Or like, how did I get past this? Like, the one that always comes to mind for me is Lion King on Super Nintendo, in that I pretty much got close to beating that game as a kid, and I'm like, how did I get that far? Like, as an adult, I've never been able to get back to where I was in that game. Like, it's kind of nuts. You don't think I didn't forget about it. I mentioned during my Aladdin GWC Plays that when the new Lion King would come out, I would talk about it. Do not worry. That GWC Plays is still happening. Just like the one for the Aladdin on Genesis is still happening, but I need to see those movies first, so don't worry, you'll see it. He's gonna jump to the right, and he's about to get stuck. Nice. Even though I'm getting like really whooped in this game is still really fun. It is still a really fun game. Like it's not a hard game. I think it's more this. I'm screwing up more just probably due to just like having to talk and different things. So I'm trying to put an excuse on. That's the bubble one. Oh, this one. Oh, I love this one. The music on it was always what was really cool. And the effect in the background where he has that wavy look for ocean always really impressed me. God, come on. And there's one aesthetic I want to mention. It was my favorite thing back in the day for like 16-bit and 8-bit games and 32-bit games was when they would try and do like voice modulation. They would like put like a voice into the game and compress it down to fit. That was always my favorite thing, because it back then it was cool. I was like, wow, they have a voice in the game. It never always sounded cool. Like there are some games that actually got it and it sounded pretty good, but then there were some that like sounded completely awful. But now I have an appreciation for both of them. Back then I was like, that doesn't sound good. Now it's like all of them sound pretty good or bad. Like the one that has probably the worst one I can recall is the first Street Fighter on NES. Like when you win a battle, it has like this long sentence of like the character saying something, and that's where they went wrong. Usually in these games, when they do some type of voice, it's always one word, so they can get that one word down pretty good. In Street Fighter's case, they're like, oh, let's not do one word, let's do like a whole sentence, and it sounds so bad.
But don't forget the many gods like you all over the world.
You cannot pick up what like they're saying. Like it's so bad it ends up being good. Like that's how I look at it. But it's certainly ambitious for that time. There are certain things just about that this era in gaming that I really appreciate. Alright, give this one more try. If I get another game over, then we'll we'll call it. I'm sure you don't want to see me keep making my way through this. Well, I could easily sit here and probably beat this game. I probably am. Once I'm done recording, I may just be like, you know what? I'm gonna play through the game. Although, now that I've heard this again, I need to get this music back. This needs to be in a video of some sort. I don't know a video, but I'm gonna find a use to put the soundtrack in a video. Any excuse that gives me to listen to this and to put it in there, like, oh, I'll do it. I really should give Castle of Illusion a try. Like that remaster, like, just got like brought back. Like, it was delisted and I guess it came back randomly. It was like $4. I should go for it, especially after the recent thing of DuckTales. I shouldn't pass up on something getting brought back from being delisted, especially that if it's anything like this game. Like I said, I haven't played Castle of Illusion, but if it's anything like this game, then I know it's gonna probably be great. And I've heard a lot of great things about that game. And especially, there's one thing in the remake that, especially alone, would easily be worth the purchase, and that is that the composer of the soundtrack is none other than Grant Kirkhope, which I've talked about way too much on this channel. So you already know how I feel about Grant Kirkhope, so that alone is like, oh, that's a buy. Here's some Grant Kirkhope tunes. I'll buy a game for that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that new ukulele game. I might be the only person I feel who's like looking forward to the ukulele sequel. I'm like, well, you know, they got the composers back. That should be pretty cool. I think going in a different style seems pretty interesting. Going more towards like the side scrolling. I at least want to give it a try. Like I never want to hope like, oh, I hope this game sucks, or it's like, oh, this game's gonna... Unless I can just see from the get-go that the game's gonna stink, or it's got something to it that's just awful. But I don't really see that. Platonic Games did a pretty good job on the first ukulele. I thought that was a pretty fun game. It didn't top Banjo or anything, but it was a very fun, straightforward collectathon. And it's like, you know, that's what I wanted. Did it have its flaws? Yeah, but it was still enjoyable. Or one complaint I saw was like, it's too much like a Banjo ripoff. It's like that's what they were going for. They were not even ripoff. They're going for that style of, if we wanted to do a Banjo-Kazooie type game in modern time, there you go. But it's what it is. Dang, I'm doing really bad. I apologize. I'm not showing this game in the best light. I keep getting smoked. Am I gonna make it to the end? Find out next time on GWC Plays. God, this one too is silly. Another really good theme. That hurt. Ah. Maybe I should... Huh, should I? Maybe I will do that. Okay. Okay, I decided to save you some trouble. Like, I got back to the boss. Okay. Let's see if I can get him. That's all I hope. Hey! That's all. Yeah, that's pretty good. Got to get that other magic spell. Oh god, you had to hear my embarrassing text tone. You know what? I think I'm gonna call it right here. I know it's like you stopped in the middle of the game because there's not actually too many stages left after this. But I think I'm gonna say if you want to see the rest of the game, I do recommend giving this game a play. It is very fun. I guess it has more challenge than I originally thought. I guess I was just way better as a kid at games. But, you know, it's still a fun game. I think it still holds up. It's a really fun platformer. It has good multiplayer. The soundtrack is amazing. The look of it is really good. Overall, it's a really good game. And I give a high recommendation. This was a childhood favorite of mine, and I would just say give it a try. It doesn't hurt. So that's gonna do it for this GWC Plays. Thank you for watching, and until next week, I'm John, and I will see you later.